Have you ever stood at a crossroads where each choice seemed to promise something new, yet also take something away? Or have you ever looked back on your journey wondering if what you gained was truly worth what you lost? Life is inherently a series of choices, an interplay of gains and losses, sometimes clear, sometimes incredibly subtle, prompting us to pause and reflect. How can we truly understand the meaning behind these experiences, not just to accept them, but to find peace and growth from them? Welcome, dear listeners, to Seeker of Light, where we explore profound perspectives on life together. I am your companion on this journey. Today, we will delve deeper into a familiar yet ever-relevant theme: gaining and losing. I invite you to join me in exploring this topic profoundly, not just to identify the aspects of trade-offs or the law of impermanence, but also to understand and find ways to live harmoniously with this endless dance of life. Let's once again take a deep breath, set aside our worries, and step into a space of contemplation. Here, we will peel back the layers of gaining and losing, not to find an absolute answer, but to open ourselves to possibilities and discover freedom within this very journey. Let's listen. To truly understand gaining and losing, we need to look at the inherent dualistic nature of the universe. This is not a new idea, but an awareness contemplated and summarized by sages throughout ages. Eastern philosophy, particularly Taoism with its familiar yin-yang symbol, or Buddhism with the concept of interdependent co-arising, emphasizes that nothing exists in isolation. Gaining cannot exist without losing, just as light has no meaning without darkness. They coexist, relying on each other to create the full picture of reality. Even in Western philosophy, Heraclitus, with his famous saying, "No man ever steps in the same river twice," implied constant change, where the old is lost for the new to be born. When we gain a new experience, we simultaneously lose the previous state. For a more concrete example, when you gain a new job with more responsibilities, you may lose the leisure of your old job. When you gain independence, you may lose the sense of security from dependence. Every choice, conscious or not, is a trade-off, a delicate balance between what we receive and what we leave behind. One of the central tenets of Buddhism when discussing gaining and losing is the law of impermanence, anicca. Impermanence doesn't just mean that everything changes, it carries the profound implication that nothing lasts forever, that there is no permanent self, anatta, no self, to hold on to gains or to suffer from losses. Because all things are impermanent, every gain will eventually transform and disintegrate. Clinging, upadana, to what we consider mine, I am, or myself, when it changes or is lost, is the root of suffering, dukkha. When we understand impermanence, we don't deny the joy of gaining or the sadness of losing. Rather, we see them as natural flows, coming and going. This acceptance is not passive resignation, but a wisdom that liberates us from the grip of desire and fear. The concept of opportunity cost also sheds more light on the nature of gaining and losing. It's not confined to economics. Every decision in life, from small things like choosing what to eat for breakfast to big ones like choosing a major, a life partner, or a career path, involves opportunity cost. Gaining one option means losing the potential benefits from other options we didn't choose. It's noteworthy that we often focus on the tangible gains of our current choice and rarely acknowledge the intangible losses of missed opportunities. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman, as mentioned, calls this a form of cognitive bias, a trap the mind easily falls into. When faced with gaining and losing, our minds are not still. Complex psychological mechanisms unfold, influencing how we perceive and behave. One of the most significant findings is loss aversion. The work of Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky has shown that the psychological impact of a loss is often much greater, perhaps twice as much, as the joy from an equivalent gain. For example, losing $50 usually causes a stronger negative feeling than the joy of being awarded $50. This stems from our evolutionary process, where avoiding threats, losses, was more critical for survival than seeking benefits, gains. It explains why we often tend to cling to what we have, even when it's no longer suitable, simply out of fear of the feeling of loss. In Buddhism, this fear is closely related to craving, tanha, the desire, the clinging to what we like, to its existence, or even to its non-existence. This is considered one of the primary causes of suffering. When we cling to a person, an object, a status, or an idea, any change or loss of that object will cause us suffering. In modern psychology, John Bowlby's attachment theory also shows that early childhood attachment experiences profoundly affect how we form relationships and cope with separation and loss in adulthood. An insecure attachment from the past can exacerbate the fear of loss in the present, creating negative emotional cycles. When faced with loss, or the threat of loss, the human mind may activate psychological defense mechanisms as an unconscious effort to avoid painful truths. These can include denial, "This can't be happening to me," rationalization, "Losing this job is actually good, I'll have more time to rest," or repression, trying not to think about it, suppressing emotions. Although these mechanisms can temporarily alleviate stress, if overused, they prevent us from confronting and processing emotions healthily. In the long run, this not only allows pain to fester, but also causes us to miss valuable lessons from the very experiences of loss. Another noteworthy psychological phenomenon is the hedonic treadmill. We humans have an amazing ability to adapt. When we gain something new and exciting, like a raise, a new house, or achieving an important goal, the initial joy often doesn't last. Gradually, we get used to it, and what was once a gain becomes the new normal. Then we set new goals, pursuing other gains. This explains why constantly chasing external gains often doesn't bring lasting happiness. Today's gain easily becomes tomorrow's ordinary, and we feel lacking something again, continuing the endless cycle of seeking. Besides tangible, easily recognizable losses like money, possessions, or a relationship, there are losses that occur silently, more subtly, and are often only realized after a long time, when we have a chance to look back. One of the greatest invisible losses is time and life energy. These are the most precious assets we possess, yet they are finite. Every hour, every day, we spend pursuing a gainful goal, such as career advancement, means we lose that time and energy for other aspects of life, perhaps family, health, personal passions, or inner peace. Recognizing this trade-off is not to regret, but to help us be more conscious in prioritizing what is truly important and meaningful to us. In the journey of striving to gain social acceptance, to gain success by external standards, we risk losing our inner voice, losing the core values, dreams, and beliefs that once defined us. This is a form of loss of personal identity, a silent trade-off that can have profound consequences. A feeling of emptiness, of being lost, even when achieving many external accomplishments, can be a sign of this loss. We might have everything others admire, but lose ourselves in the process. In a world increasingly focused on quantifiable personal achievements or virtual connections on social media platforms, we may be gaining many superficial relationships, hundreds, thousands of online friends, but losing deep, sincere connections with others and, more importantly, with ourselves. Loneliness in a crowd is no longer a rare phenomenon. It is a clear manifestation of the loss of authentic connection. We may communicate more, but understand and empathize less. Finally, an invisible but crucial loss is presence. The ability to live fully in the present moment. Constantly chasing gains in the future or dwelling on losses in the past causes us to lose the present moment, the only moment in which life truly happens. We gain plans, intentions, anxieties, or reminiscences, but lose the rich, colorful, and authentic experience of here and now. A wandering mind causes life to pass by without us truly living it. Identifying and understanding the aspects of gaining and losing is the first and crucial step. However, what matters more is how we can learn to live harmoniously with this law, transforming experiences, whether joyful or sad, into opportunities for growth and finding inner peace. One of the foundational practices on this path is acceptance. Acceptance here is not about surrendering or resigning passively or negatively. In psychology, especially through acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, or in Buddhist teachings, acceptance is seeing reality as it is, without judgment, without resistance, without trying to distort or deny it. It is the courage to face the sadness of loss, accept the inherent uncertainty of life, and accept our own limitations. It is this very acceptance that paves the way for change and healing. When we stop fighting against what cannot be changed, we free up enormous energy to focus on what we can do, what is truly within our control. Hand in hand with acceptance is the art of letting go, non-attachment. Letting go does not mean being indifferent, uncaring, or irresponsible. It is letting go of clinging, of insisting that things must be our way, letting go of control over things that are inherently beyond our reach, and letting go of unrealistic expectations. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once taught that if you hold a handful of sand too tightly, it will slowly slip through your fingers. But if you hold your hand gently, relaxed, the sand will stay. Letting go of ingrained notions of I, of my possessions, helps us become lighter and more flexible in the face of life's constant changes. Try asking yourself, what am I clinging to that no longer serves my growth and peace? Sometimes losing a burden, an obsession, is itself a great gain in terms of inner freedom and serenity. The power of mindfulness is an invaluable tool to help us navigate the world of gaining and losing. Mindfulness is the complete, non-judgmental awareness of what is happening in the present moment, both inner bodily sensations, a stream of thoughts in the mind, and external events. When practicing mindfulness, we can observe the joy of gaining and the sadness of losing, like clouds drifting across the sky of our mind, without identifying with them, without being swept away by them. This creates a precious space between stimulus and response, allowing us to choose how to respond consciously, wisely, instead of merely reacting according to old programmed habits. Cultivating gratitude is also a practice that brings profound transformation. Instead of focusing only on what has been lost or what we have not gained, gratitude shifts our attention to what we have, to the good things, however small, that are present in our lives right now. Numerous studies in positive psychology have shown that practicing gratitude regularly can help increase feelings of happiness, reduce stress, and improve overall health. It could be gratitude for the valuable lessons a loss experience has brought, gratitude for what remains after a storm, or simply gratitude for the opportunity to start over, to love, and to live. In the journey of confronting gaining and losing, finding meaning from experience, meaning-making, plays a pivotal role. Viktor Frankl, the founder of logotherapy and a Holocaust survivor, pointed out that humans have an extraordinary ability to find meaning even in the most painful and desperate circumstances. Loss, however painful, can become a powerful catalyst for us to re-examine our life values, redefine our purpose in life, and discover hidden strengths and beautiful qualities we never knew we had. The important question is not why did this terrible thing happen to me, but what can I learn, who can I become, and what can I do with what has happened? Finally, to live harmoniously with gaining and losing, perhaps we need to redefine the concepts of success and happiness for ourselves. True happiness and success do not necessarily mean the endless accumulation of material gains, fame, or social status. Try to broaden your definition to include intrinsic values, qualities of the soul, continuous self-development, quality relationships based on understanding and love, meaningful contributions to the community, and above all, peace and stillness in the soul. Then, gaining will carry a much deeper, more complete, and sustainable meaning, no longer dependent on fragile and ever-changing external factors. Dear listeners, after these reflections and analyses, perhaps we all feel that gaining and losing are not two static states, nor are they enemies to be avoided or conquered. They are truly two sides of the same coin of life, the indispensable highs and lows in the infinite and wondrous symphony of the universe. They are dancers constantly twirling in the dance of existence. Our journey is not to completely eliminate loss or solely pursue achievement at all costs. Instead, it is a journey to learn how to dance gracefully and skillfully with both. Each step forward in the dance brings the joy, the elation of gaining, while each step back, each stumble, teaches us profound lessons from losing. The most important thing is that we are fully present in every step of the dance, feeling each rhythm with an open heart, without fear, and with a clear mind, without delusion. When we learn to embrace both gaining and losing as essential and precious parts of life, we not only find inner peace, a peace that comes not from having everything we want, but from understanding that everything is complete and meaningful in its very impermanent, ever-changing nature. Moreover, we also find true freedom, the freedom to live an authentic life, to courageously face all challenges and changes, and to cherish every precious moment that life offers. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect with Seeker of Light. I hope that the sharings in today's talk will be a small source of inspiration. A few openings on your own journey of discovery and transformation. Allow yourself to feel, to learn, and to grow. Stronger, wiser, through every experience of gaining and losing. See you in the next stories, where we will continue to seek the light of wisdom and compassion together.